What is going on, guys? Andrew Hayes here, back for another review, and today I'm reviewing Truth or Dare, which is Blumhouse's latest horror movie, and is directed by Jeff Wadlow, and is about a group of friends who go to Mexico and play what seems to be a harmless game of Truth or Dare, and Olivia, the main character, who is played by Lucy Hale, soon finds out that they are playing for their lives, and if they don't cooperate and don't play the game, they die. Now, I saw the trailers, and I'm going to be honest, they look really, really stupid. But I was hoping it would be so stupid it's fun, kind of how, like, Wish Upon was last year. Like, Wish Upon wasn't a good movie, but it was just so stupid and ridiculous at points where, like, I had a little bit of fun with it, and it was funny at times, so I at least had a little bit of enjoyment there. But this kind of ended up being, like, so stupid it was annoying, kind of like how Bye Bye Man was. And while I don't think it's nearly quite as bad as the Bye Bye Man, this was still pretty bad. And let me just get right into it why I thought it was bad. One of my biggest problems with this movie were the characters. And just that, not really that there were stereotypes, but you just didn't care about them. And I feel like in a movie like this, where characters are going to be constantly, in danger of dying or dying, you should care about them. So when they do die or even survive, you would care. And they didn't do that. The only one I remotely cared about was Olivia, Lucy Hale's character, which, I mean, I didn't even care for her too much. It's just that, like, none of the other ones I cared for at all, and hers I just cared for a little bit, only because she's the only one with any real depth or characterization or backstory. And, her best friend has some backstory, but it's just, like, I didn't care. She's the only one that kind of, like, she's a good person, so you kind of root for her. Not really, but, you kind of not really care for her, but she's the only one you remotely sort of not really care about, if that makes any sense. But a thing that really bothered me with her character in particular is that, so she's a good person, she, has a vlog on YouTube, uses it for good things, and she wants to do something really good. In the beginning of the movie, she says, she's doing this thing that's really good, and which is awesome and all. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then her best friend, which is played by Violet Bean, ruins that. And she gets mad at her, but then all of a sudden, she's like, oh, but I did this so you can come on our last spring break together. And then everything's all of a sudden's okay, and it's funny because I had seen this movie last night, and at work today, my friend who works with me, I had explained that scenario to her, using her and her best friends as an example, and she said to me that she wouldn't have gone on spring break because she would just be so mad with her friend that she would be like, no, you ruined this thing for me, I'm F you. And that's how I feel like should have happened. And they just ruined her character like that because it makes her seem, I don't want to say stupid, but it just kind of, it didn't work at all, where you ruin this. It's a pretty big thing. Like, I would be mad too, and I'm pretty sure most people would be mad, but she goes with them anyway. So you're saying it's okay to ruin this stuff for me because you want to hang out with me and whatnot. So, I mean, that was just a huge thing I had a problem with. And Violet Bean, who actually is in the Flash TV show, she plays Jesse Quick. I actually really like her in the Flash, and I'm not. It's her performance. Okay, so no one's performances are really bad. It's just that the characters are so, like, I feel like they try their best, and they're not really all that good, the performances, but I feel like they're trying their best for what they're given. And the reason it just doesn't work is because the characters are so poorly written. And there are times the line delivery is pretty bad and the lines are just awful. But I feel like at times that you could see that they're kind of trying their best. So the performances aren't like, oh my god, like these are the worst performances of the year. But they're still pretty bad performances. But they're like not, atrocious. And so like the writing is probably the worst part about this movie. Just not from the characters, just from the story too, because they try to make it this mystical thing, and the whole time they're like nothing. Well, one, nothing was really scary. Everything was just kind of stupid, and this whole movie, while I'm watching it, I gained one thing out of this. The one thought that if I could take away from this movie is that this is 100% a ripoff of Final Destination and It Follows. Especially It Follows, because just kind of how like it is, and you gotta pass it on and whatnot, and when you get more backstory, it becomes ever so clear that this is a ripoff of It Follows. And that really bothered me because I feel like It Follows is an awesome original horror movie, and this just isn't. If I could take one positive that isn't really a positive, but it's not a negative either, is that they build up this whole secret, because the reason Olivia keeps on doing dares because she's afraid of this one truth coming out. And it finally comes out, and I thought it was going to be much worse than it was. And it doesn't really work, but still, at least it's something. Okay, I can understand someone keeping it a secret, but it was pretty stupid. Overall, this is just a typical horror movie from Blumhouse that was obviously made so it can make money. And I didn't think it was going to be anything special, and it wasn't anything special. I was just kind of hoping that it would be a little bit fun, but it wasn't at all. My grade for this, I would give it a D-. While there's a couple things here and there, I'm like, alright, this isn't terrible, but it's not good either. So that's why I give it a D-. Thank you guys for watching. Please be back for my next review sometime soon, and comment, like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. Until next time, guys, have a nice day.